Hello, my name is Allison Dockham. I am a bioengineering major here at George Mason University, and my project this semester focused on developing an alternative treatment for foot drop. So, foot drop is characterized by the inability to pick up or dorsiflex when the toes are pointed up towards you, the foot during the swing phase of the gait cycle. Drop foot increases the chances of a person falling because if the foot isn't picked up during the swinging phase, the toes drag the ground and the person essentially trips over their own feet. Foot drop is commonly caused by stroke, trauma, and pre-existing neuromuscular conditions such as multiple sclerosis or cerebral palsy or muscular dystrophy. One treatment for foot drop includes the use of an ankle-foot orthosis or an AFO. As you can see here on the right, an AFO typically wraps around the back of the calf and then down to the underside of the foot, and it stabilizes the ankle and holds it in a constant 90-degree position. This prevents falls since the toes can no longer drag the ground. However, users still present with abnormal gait patterns and report a fear of reliance on the device. Another treatment includes the use of functional electrical stimulation, or FES, where short electrical pulses are administered to the peroneal nerve, and this contracts the tibialis anterior. In foot drop, the tibialis anterior is responsible for the dorsiflexion of the foot. So when the peroneal nerve is stimulated, the tibialis anterior contracts and the foot is picked up. Over time, it has been shown that FES can induce rapid muscle fatigue, which isn't ideal for subjects in a rehabilitation setting. However, it has been hypothesized that changing parameters like the pulse duration, the location where the pulses are administered, amplitude, and frequency can reduce the effects of fatigue. One such device that's currently on the market is the walk aid pictured on the right. How this works is that inside there is an inertial measurement unit, or IMU, gathering data about the person's walking pattern, and then it detects when the swing phase occurs, and the FES is administered to the peroneal nerve to pick up the foot. So I'm trying to build a device that combines the ideas of an AFO and FES. The steps in completion: the first step is to use ultrasound to understand how the muscle behaves differently in subjects with drop foot than able-bodied subjects. This is an important step because most studies currently out there would use an IMU or force plate to characterize foot drop. So with an IMU, they're looking at the acceleration and the rotations of the foot and ankle while the person walks. And with a force plate, they're understanding the weight distribution of the foot drop patient. This is helpful because it gives researchers an idea of what foot drop looks like. However, an understanding of how the muscles are working and how it differs from an able-bodied subject is still lacking in the literature. And so ultrasound as a non-invasive imaging technique would be able to help us gain a better understanding. The next step would use the conclusions from the ultrasound data to decide when and how to administer the FES. The key here is that it needs to be administered during the swing phase in a manner that reduces fatigue. So the ultrasound would be used both for gait pattern detection and also for fatigue detection. The next step would be to create a feedback system where ultrasound would detect when the muscle is fatigued and stop the FES. And then the next step would be to construct the AFO that would lock in position when the AFO stops and the fatigue is detected in order to give the person that same stability. And finally, we would move into a construction of a mobile device. Before the COVID-19 epidemic, I was working on step 1, and I was trying to sync two methods of ultrasound with a continuous wave Doppler system and then also a M-mode ultrasound system as well. However, due to the crisis, I was not able to complete this step or collect any experimental data. So right now, I have moved on to a different route, and I'm trying to do that gate pattern detection using IMU data, which collects the acceleration, the gyroscope, and often the magnetic field as well, and using a database of this data to simply do gate pattern detection. I haven't had any success yet, but that's what I'm currently working on, and I plan to continue this work throughout the summer and into the next school year. So thank you so much, and let me know if you have any questions. And here are the references that I used.